Hey everyone, welcome to my channel as a married man. I want to thank you all for tuning it in and checking it out. It is here where we talk about love, life, relationships, and more, all from the perspective of a married man. So please, guys, go ahead, hit that like button for me, and definitely subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it more than you know. So today, everyone, I'm actually going over a video from a fellow YouTuber, and her name is Courtney Ryan. And this is one of those videos that came across my YouTube recommended videos or whatever, whatever it's called. I thought it was pretty interesting. I watched it. I checked out some of Courtney's other stuff, and it rings home. It rings true, and yeah, it's some good information. What this video in particular, the one I'm going to be reviewing, it's titled Five Major Signs That You're Being a Simp. Stop doing this. So first of all, props to Courtney Ryan herself. I'm going to post a link to her channel and to the video. If you guys are interested in checking it out, then head on over to Courtney's channel. Give her a like and a sub. Tell her I said hi. And go from there. All right. So I'm going to briefly paraphrase each point that Courtney makes. And then, I'll give you my opinion as a married man here. So, yeah, once again, before I start, the title of this video is like five major signs you're being a simp. So, all right, to start things out, Courtney mentions that, this is a little tough love for the guys. I, to be honest, she doesn't want to see, all the boys out there, getting manipulated and being used. She doesn't want to see guys getting friend zoned, end up broke, end up sad. So this is good information coming from Court. And it's pretty cool, just the fact that, as guys, we need to hear this more. And we definitely need to hear this more from women, especially attractive women like Courtney. Because, simps, they'll do almost anything for a beautiful woman, hence the problem. So, thank thank you, Courtney, for the valuable insight here. So let's get started, guys. Courtney, she goes on to define the definition of what a simp is, and she differentiates this difference, between a simp and a gentleman. And, it's always okay to be a gentleman, guys, of course, but it's never okay to be a simp. But the difference Court talks about is a simp is a man who has no self-respect. He doesn't know when to call it quits. He doesn't know when to walk away. But a gentleman, on the other hand, he can be chivalrous, he can be polite, he can, be loving, he can be attentive and all that, all those positive traits a woman looks for in a man. However, the difference between a gentleman and a simp is that a gentleman has self-respect. Like he knows when to walk away. He knows when things are going bad or he's being used or manipulated, that things are not in his favor. A gentleman has self-respect. A simp does not. So just keep that in mind, guys, as we continue forward. And Courtney, she actually posts the definition of a simp. And I'm going to go ahead and post it here. Shout out to Courtney for this. This is courtesy of her, and it actually does speak volumes about what a simp is. So just read that, and you get some good insight. Um, so moving on, let's get to number one, guys. Number one is an eagerness to impress. And so this could be anything that a guy does, like from buying flowers, taking a woman out on a date, taking her shopping, like basically lavishing time and money and attention on a woman. And Courtney goes on to even state, like, when you do this, like, it basically shows a woman like you're seeking validation and attention, and like it basically you're showing weakness. Like you're showing your desperation, basically. You dig it? And so basically, guys, you need to take a step back and analyze, like the quote, like relationship, if there even is one. And you need to ask yourself, guys, like, what are you getting out of it? Like, are you getting what you're putting into it? Like, if she is invested as you are, basically. So that's number one. Number two on Courtney's list is nothing is reciprocated. And, Court mentions, this is a surefire sign you're wasting your time. And so if your time, your energy, your effort are not being reciprocated, like you need to know when to walk away. And like Courtney mentions, like some of the telltale signs she sees of guys doing this is stuff like, subscribing to her OnlyFans, liking all her Instagram stories and whatnot, or, buying her stuff on her Amazon store. You're paying her to message you. Like, damn, I think I'd kick my own ass if I did stuff like that. But, believe it or not, there are guys who do this, and Courtney sees it, and she sees the giant red flag right there of sympatry. The guys who are giving everything, especially financially, and nothing is being reciprocated. So that's a huge red flag right there. And Courtney does see it, and it's pretty sad. But this goes on to lead to number three, guys, of the five signs that you're being a simp. And number three is paying her bills. And Courtney herself actually goes on to state like like this is probably one of the worst. Like she goes on to say that, like, she wishes she didn't have to address this one, but here we are. Like, so this one it's pretty self-explanatory. Like, if this woman is not your wife, then you should not be paying her bills. You shouldn't be paying for her to take vacations, student loans and car payments, et cetera, et cetera. Like, Courtney goes on to tell that she's actually seen TikTok videos from women on how to get a sugar daddy, on how to manipulate men to paying their bills. And it goes on from there. And she says it herself, like it's just sad at this point. Um, but yeah, common sense, like these weak men, they think that this woman will fall in love with him if he lavishes money on her. But like the reality is, like you're nothing to her but a wallet. You dig it? Like you're just a source of income, period. Um, like Courtney does mention there are guys who are into financial domination. That's new to me, but I guess that's a thing. And there are guys who, yes, they do willingly enter into sugar daddy relationships, like believe it or not. So yeah, some guys go into this knowing all too well what they're getting into, that they will be paying for this woman's lifestyle, and I guess they're okay with it. And Courtney does end this off by stating that, not here to tell you how to spend your money, not here to tell you how to live your life. You're free to do what you want with your own money, but like just a heads up, boys, like it's a pretty big simp move. Like that's pretty much sums it up. Paying a woman's bills, that's especially a woman you don't know and have never met. That's some powerful sympatry right there. But moving to number four, you know, number four is that you pedal how do I say this? You pedestalize, yeah, you pedestalize guys. Basically, is what that means is you place this woman on a pedestal, you know, she's perfect to you. She can do no wrong. You know, you idolize her like a deity. But the downside to doing that is that, yeah, she's never going to be perfect. She's never going to be the woman you see her to be, that you imagine her to be, and vice versa. Like you're never going to be that white knight to her. And you know, as a simp, you will be willing to do anything for this woman, and she knows that. Like you'll do anything to please her to make her happy. But the downside to this, guys, is that she loses all respect for you over time. Like that's just a solid fact right there, and Courtney points that out. But that ties in as well to, you know, number five on Courtney's list here. And number five is you're always available. Like, yes, it's important to make time for people you care about, you know? It's important to make time for your loved ones. But when you're free 24/7 for this particular woman, for this particular girl, like if you're at their beck and call, and that makes you look pathetic. Like it makes you look needy and clingy, and it makes you look desperate, and worst of all, like if you're trying to get with this woman, like it shows that it shows you have no life whatsoever. So like for the weak simp guys out there, like if this behavior is happening like with a woman that you're trying to win over, or a woman who doesn't even like you back, you know, that makes you a prime target basically for her just to use you. You know, like whether for money or emotional support or favors, like, hey, I need you to drive me to my boyfriend's house. Like, like the key is like if you're willing to do it, like just remember what Courtney said about gentlemen and simps, and more importantly about self-respect. Like if you're always available, like you're putting her before you're putting yourself, and you have no self-respect. And Courtney, like she goes on to mention one thing. She calls it a texting buddy. Like basically, like this woman you're after, this woman you're pedestalizing, this woman you're simping for. She's so free to text with you when she's bored, you know. You're her sounding board. You're like the, you know, shoulder to cry on. And you're there for her anytime when she's bored to text her and to talk with her. But, you know, when it comes time for you to ask her if she wants to hang out, like, whoa, yeah, I'm busy. Sorry, dude. Like, I understand, guys, if you're a simp, like you're a backup guy. You know, you're just a standby guy. You're nothing to her but a shoulder to cry on. And that's all you are to her, and that's all you're ever gonna be, you know. But Courtney, she ends this video just saying like, you know, all this stuff on the list that, you know, this top five list she made, all this stuff, it can be avoided. Like you need to see it for what it is, and you know, see what's right in front of you instead of like what you want it to be, you know. So don't have delusions. I don't imagine something is what it isn't to begin with, you know, like just because you're paying her bills and sending her money, that doesn't mean she's your girlfriend, bro. Like, be honest with yourself. That's the most important aspect. Be honest with yourself, and for God's sakes, man, have self-respect. But you know, guys, that's basically the video in a nutshell right there. I think that's Courtney Ryan's video. Five major signs that you're being a simp. But more, you know, what are my thoughts on this? You know, as a married man, like, what do I think of all this? Like, I'll definitely say, you know, and I'll honestly, like, Courtney, she hits the nail on the head here, like literally. Like, like this video, it's from 2021. I'm not sure why it came across my recommended feed, but it's from this video's from 2021. It's a little old, but it could have been made yesterday and still be that relevant, you know? It even for video this old, it rings true to this day. But like as a married man, like let me reverse, let me start from the beginning of the video here. Like Court is kind enough to clarify the difference between a simp and a gentleman, and that's important. Like, you know, some red-pilled MTOW brothers out there in the manosphere, they'll claim that there's no difference. Like a simp is a simp is a simp, you know. But believe it or not, as a married man, you can be a gentleman without being a simp. But and Court clarifies that like the key here is to have self-respect. Like, you know, as a married man, I'll open the door, you know, the car door for my wife, you know, I'll pull out her chair at the restaurant so she can sit down. Like I'll make little gestures to her to show I care, I love her. Like I'll let her eat the last piece of Oreo cookie ice cream cake from Dairy Queen, even though I love it and and she knows it. But like understand guys, the difference here is like I do it out of respect and politeness and love. And I don't sacrifice anything from myself to make her comfortable, you know? Like that's what something a simp does. Like Court does clarify, you know, what a simp is. And like here's that slide again to reference a simp. Like a man that puts himself in a submissive position under women in hopes of winning them over. Like there's gentlemanly acts, there's acts of love and acts of kindness, especially when you have a wife like myself. Like you can show kindness and love to a woman without simping for her. The key is self-respect, and as we get into Courtney's list, there's more to it than that even. Um, like going back to number one here real quick. Like number one on Courtney's list was you know, you're so eager to impress. And you know, this is stuff that goes from showering her with gifts and praise and attention and all that. Like, you know, if Courtney even mentions like, guys, you need to take a step back and examine this quote unquote relationship. Like, are you even in a relationship? Like, what are you getting out of it that that you're putting in so much effort? Like, what are you getting out? And you know, like if you have to work your ass off to impress a girl, to impress a woman, like you're doing too much and you're probably getting used. Right? So as a married man, like, you know, you're not simping for your woman, for your wife. Well, you're not trying to impress her. Um, you know, as a married man and as a man in general, and as a red pill like manosphere dweller, like this is so true. Like even the MTAB doctrine states, like, men, you need to focus on yourselves. Men need to focus on their grind. Men need to focus on their hustle. Like when you become successful, boys, like women will literally come to you. Like they will seek your validation. Like women will try to impress you, not the other way around. Like if you can dig it, like you don't have to try to ply a woman with gifts, with praise, with money, with attention. Like if you're having to do that, whether you're a single guy trying to, you know, get with a girl or even as a married man, if you're constantly having to ply a woman with gifts and praise and validation, like something's wrong in that relationship. That's a huge red flag. So all you single guys, even all you married dudes out there, like you shouldn't be having to do that just to get, you know, your woman's love and admiration. But anyways, guys, number two is on her list of Are You a Simp? Is that nothing is reciprocated. And on this one, Courtney mentions like some of the signs here, like guys who subscribe to her OnlyFans, you know, who buy her stuff off her Amazon wish list or something. You know, guys who like all her Instagram stories and all her posts and and all that. But like, first off, yeah, this is a hard truth from a married man right here. So like, listen up, everyone. Like, if you are subscribing to a woman's OnlyFans, like, you're not only a simp, like, you're a bottom tier man. I say that with all honesty. I got a lot of crap a while back because I stated my belief that the majority of passport bros out there that they're just sex tourists. The majority of passport bros are sex tourists. That was a statement I made, and I stand by it to this day. And I'll say straight up, if you're a man who is paying for a woman's OnlyFans, like you're a bottom tier man, like you're pathetic, like straight up. And if you're subscribing to her OnlyFans, if you're on her Instagram, if you're buying her gifts, like, dude, that's pathetic. Especially if you don't even know this woman. Or even if you do know her, she's the woman in the apartment next to yours. Like, if the only way you can get her attention is to subscribe to, to her OnlyFans, like, you're a bottom feeder, dude. Like, sorry, I'm not sorry for saying something like that. Like, any man who subscribes to a woman on OnlyFans is a pathetic man. And yes, you are a simp. Like that's my spicy take at the end there, guys. That's my spicy take for today. Like go out and touch grass, as the saying goes. Like you should not be on no self-respecting man should be on OnlyFans. And God forbid buying her merch or giving her money and God knows what else you're doing, like you sick perverts. Like just understand, guys, like alpha women prey on beta men. All right. So just remember that alpha women prey on beta men. So if you're a weak ass guy, if you're a weak ass beta simp, and you're the only way you can get to this girl is by, well, I'm gonna get the exclusive premium package on OnlyFans, and maybe maybe she'll talk to me in the DM. Like, God, dude, come on. Like, that's pathetic, and you should know better. Any man should know better, and I'll chastise any man who goes to OnlyFans with that garbage. But that moves to number three on Court's list, which is like, you're paying her bills. Like, like this isn't just a sign that you're being a simp, guys. It's a confirmation that you're a simp. Like, if you're not married to this woman or engaged to her or in a long-term relationship with her, yeah, I think common law is the legal definition. You're living together, but you're not married or whatnot. Like, if you're paying for her lifestyle without even knowing her, like if you're paying her bills and her tuition and her car bill and the rent and like, well, you're a bottom feeding beta weakling simp, like period. Like Courtney mentioned something about guys who have a financial domination fetish. Like that's the first I've ever heard of that. Like, but I have heard of like guys who they'll pay women that they meet on Instagram or whatever to fly to their city and they'll pay for their hotel and you know what happens after that. I've heard stories of like these wealthy Arabic sheiks who like oil sheiks, they pay Western women to fly to Dubai in their private jet, and like I said, you know what happens next. But that shows how weak a man is, like, what's the word? Like, and that goes to show how cheap a woman is in retrospect as well. Like, if a woman wants you to pay her bills, if she's willing to fly across the country for you on your dime for sex, like, she's not even worth it, dude. Like, she's not wife material. Like, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time and your money? Like, you might be some MTOW, Andrew Tate type of dude that I don't need no woman other than for sex. But even if you are some wealthy Arabic, like oil magnate, some sheik who lives in Dubai and you're paying these Instagram thoughts from America to fly over halfway across the world just for sex. Like, dude, like, there's got to be a better way to invest your money, dude. I, that's just pathetic. But anyways, sorry to go on a weird tangent there, boys. Let's let's move on to number four here. And number four, if you remember, it's you pedestalize this woman, and there are some old sayings in the manosphere, if you're familiar, truth bombs that have been dropped by red-pilled sages on YouTube since time immemorial. Like basically, it's a well-known fact in the red pill circle. You put a woman on a pedestal, and she will always look down on you. If you treat a woman like a queen, she will treat you like a peasant. So Courtney's like dead on with the truth bomb in this one here. Like Court stated in her video, the difference between the simp and the gentleman, and we went over that repeatedly. And like I said, the difference is self-respect. Like it's actually a positive, and it's actually beneficial for a man, a married man, to honor his wife, to honor his woman, and vice versa. A wife should honor thy husband. It's even written in the Bible. Like it's mutual respect. Like as I can say as a married man, like mutual respect is it's the foundation of a relationship. Especially a marriage. Like you can't put your partner on a pedestal because that shows weakness. It shows submissiveness. Like a woman doesn't want weakness in her man. That's the truth coming from a man who's been married and coming from God knows every YouTube relationship channel, both male and female, red pill and blue pill. Like no woman wants a weak man. And when you put a woman on a pedestal, you're showing weakness. You did it, and you're going to be exploited. Like whether you're a single guy, putting your OnlyFans thought on a pedestal, or a married man putting your wife on a pedestal over time, they're just gonna look down on you. And so that's like straight facts from Courtney right there. Like last on the list, guys, number five here, is that you're always available. And for single guys, like that's definitely a sign of weakness. Like it reeks of desperation. Like it does make you look clingy and then weak and overall like pathetic. Like you're always there at the drop of a hat when she calls you and you're at her beck and call. Like it shows that you have no life, and it shows that you got nothing else going for you, that you're like a puppy dog, just waiting for the first hint of attention, and there's no respect there. Like she'll never respect you. She'll never care about you. Like you're nothing but a free dinner to her, or as Court was stating, like a texting buddy. Like you're not worth it. You're not worth anything more. And the sad thing is you painted yourself into that corner. But like as a married man, personally, I'm a married man, but I'm also a nerd and a dork. And aside from work, in my downtime, guys, like I play Dungeons and Dragons every week. Like I dress up in Star I dress up in Star Wars costumes, guys, and I go to Comic Cons, I cosplay. Like I go to all sorts of different social events. I'm a vintage toy collector, so I go to swap meets. I go to garage sales on the weekends. But basically, my point I'm making here, guys, is I have my own life as a married man, like believe it or not. And a lot of these events, I'll go to them with my wife, and others are like my wife wouldn't be caught dead with her husband dressed as like a stormtrooper. But like we often, my wife and I, we have to schedule time to be together because I make sure I'm always on the go. I'm always working. I'm always doing stuff. I have my own personal life, and my wife knows that. I have work. I have hobbies. I have friends. outside of my marriage, and they don't come first. My wife does, but my wife understands at the same time, like, you need to plan ahead with me because I might not, our schedules might conflict. But my wife knows, like, you know, you lose this opportunity to hang out with me at this time, I'm going to be doing something else. And a woman should know that. Like, that's how it should be with a woman. Like, you don't make them the center of your universe. You make them like a planet in rotation, gravita gravitizing around you, like they're in orbit around you, they get to be a part of your system, but they're always gravitating around you. They're not the center of your universe that you are. Like, you're making time for them. They should know that. It doesn't mean you don't care about them, you don't prioritize them, but they should know that, you know, you snooze, you lose, and time with me. Like, I'm not gonna stop what I'm doing just to be at your beck and call. No self-respecting man does that. So it's like, guys, you gotta live your own life. And you got to know that, and that woman you're trying to get with has to know that she's not the center of your existence. So that's basically what I'm trying to get at there. Like, women like keeping a texting buddy, as Court said. Women want to have a guy in their back pocket. That's a well-known fact in the manosphere. Women will always have a backup boyfriend. They'll always have a work husband. Women love having a man on standby. And you can be that simp who's on standby, or you could be that alpha Chad who, she's desperate to get an hour with you because you're busy and you have your own life. And like, you need to make sure she knows, um, you're not that backup boyfriend. Like, she's your you gotta reverse the roles there, guys. But anyways, that was Courtney Ryan's video there, on the five major signs that you're being a simp. And that was my opinion as well. But like, my opinion, just to sum things down, I'm past the 30-minute mark here. I'll sum this up. Real quick, just to end this off, boys. I You don't want to be a simp, period. And my opinion is, she's right on every point. And if you're a guy who's paying bills and you're just so eager to impress, and you're basically coming off as pretty damn cringy, and if you're coming off pretty much that, yeah, you're not worth it. You're not worth her time. And like, I'll reiterate it also one last time. If you're subscribing to a woman's OnlyFans, if you're paying a woman's bills, if you're a sugar daddy, like, I'm sorry, dude, like, you're pathetic. Like, I know there's the financial domination fetish. I don't know if that's what a sugar daddy is. Maybe someone can educate me in the comments, but like, if you're paying a woman's bills, if you're giving her all this stuff and getting nothing out of it, not even sex, like, you're pathetic. Even if you are getting sex out of it, well, I pay her rent, I pay her car note, and I get to sleep with her. Like, dude, it's a glorified prostitute. Like, you need to be a man. Like, man up, for Christ's sakes. Like, even if you're an oil sheik, sending your private jet to fly some Instagram thought to Dubai just to have sex, like, uh, what the hell, man? Like, you better. Who am I to tell an oil sheik what to do? But dude, come on, you're better than that. Like, low quality men are the men that pay for sex. Low quality men are the men that pay for a woman's attention, and low quality women are the women that accept that attention and accept that money and pay out through sex, or they pay out through silence. They'll take what they don't give back. Like, a man's goal should be to find a wife, and to a woman who's worthy of being a wife. That's every man's goal. Find a woman worthy of being your wife. If she's on OnlyFans, that's the if she's on Tinder, that's not wife material, boys. And for God's sakes, for the men listening, if you're still listening, these five signs, you need to learn them and you need to ensure that you're not committing any of these cardinal sins against manhood because you're doing yourself a disservice. You're not just embarrassing yourself, you're embarrassing all men in general, and you're letting women get away with it. Um, so you guys, you need to understand that. But that's the end of my rant. Let me know what you guys have to say. Let me know what you guys have to say. Let me know what you guys think. Leave me some comments, guys. What are your thoughts about simps? Women, I know I have some women who have subscribed to my channel, and I'm grateful definitely to hear a woman's opinion on a lot of subjects. Ladies, let me know what you think about all this. What do you think about weak men? Men who are opening themselves up to ridicule and domination and humiliation. Ladies, let me know what you think. Guys, let me know what you think. This subject here is simps. Leave me a comment. My email is asamarriedman@outlook.com. I apologize for I think it's the longest video I've made to date. Um, but I love hearing from you guys. I appreciate you all. I'm getting close to like 75 subscribers, which like to me personally is awesome. I'm loving it. Like I remember when I started out with 3 subscribers. You know, I'll beat Ballerina Farms, Mr. Beast. I'll have them beat within a year, I'm pretty certain. But anyways, guys, sorry for the long video. Remember to like, subscribe, share, comment, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye for now.